thanks to Nreal for sponsoring this video. This is the Nreal Air, a pair of AR glasses that effectively lets you watch content from your Android or your iPhone on a giant 130-inch screen. Inside of the box, we have the carry-in case, your typical documentation, a couple of different nose pads, a light shield cover that can give you a more immersive experience, and a prescription lens frame just in case you need it. But here is the Nreal Air itself, and it looks pretty good. Given all the tech that they were able to pack in here, it's actually not too far off from a pair of regular sunglasses, which they were clearly inspired by. Obviously, they are thicker, but surprisingly, they're not as heavy as I thought they would be, coming in at just 79 grams. Now, this is in part thanks to the Nreal Air not having a built-in battery, with the glasses instead being powered completely via USB-C, which for Android phones is no problem. You just plug it in and it provides both power and mirrors whatever is on your screen. Whereas with iPhones, up until now, this wasn't really possible. But with the new Nreal adapter, they figured it out, with it working perfectly with Apple's AV adapter, letting you mirror whatever is on your iPhone screen at 130 inches. But the big question, of course, is how does it look, right? Like, while the thought of having a 130-inch screen anywhere you go sounds good on paper, we've heard claims like these with VR headsets before, where it's almost always let down since they all have that screen door effect, where all you see is just pixels. With the Nreal Air, however, there is none of that. I was actually blown away with how sharp it is. There's two micro OLED displays with a resolution of 3840 by 1080, which across the 46-degree field of view gives you over twice the pixels per degree compared to something like the Quest 2. Now, I'm not saying that it's an 8K experience or anything, but it is a 1080p experience. And for watching videos and movies, it's been great, especially if you pair them with a good set of earbuds, which just takes things to the next level. Of course, you don't actually have to use earbuds with these since they do have built-in speakers on each arm, which, are fine for things like YouTube videos, but if you really want that home theater vibe, using these with earbuds is definitely the way to go. Now, the screens themselves provide a perceived brightness of up to 400 nits, and generally that's more than bright enough. For example, you can't even see anything behind the screen when you have white displaying on it, but with the darker colors, you do start to become aware of your surroundings, which is kind of the point of AR glasses, and we'll talk about the AR specific applications in a little, but if you're just wanting to use these as a giant screen and nothing more, putting the light shield cover on this gives you the most vibrant experience since it doesn't have to compete with the lights in your environment. Okay, so it's really hard to demonstrate on camera how this thing actually looks in person, since sticking a camera up close to it creates a bunch of reflections that aren't really there when you wear them, and even then, the sizing is different from what you perceive with your eyes. So just for your reference, this is what a 55-inch TV looks like from 13 feet away, which matches the perceived distance on the Nreal Air, and this is how big the 130-inch screen actually looks. So just giant. Now, in addition to being able to watch videos on Netflix, on Hulu, and YouTube, and all those other streaming apps, you can also just mirror whatever is on your phone or computer screen, since these basically act as a monitor, meaning you can work on Excel, you can use Samsung's DeX, you can connect it to your M series Mac, or you can just play games on your phone, which is even better when you connect a controller to it, since these also work with Xbox Game Pass. So some real opportunities to take advantage of that giant screen. But beyond just using these as a monitor or a TV, Nreal also has a mixed reality mode through their Nebula app, where you're in a 3D environment with AR native content. At the moment, this only works with Android phones, and there isn't a huge amount of content just yet, but one of the better examples is the cycling app, where you can simulate what it's like to be cycling or walking through a scenic route while you're at home and on a treadmill. And interestingly, in this mixed reality mode, you can make the screen size even bigger at 201 inches from a perceived 6 feet away, which is absolutely wild. But for me, the main use case here is using it as a giant display on the go. The AR stuff is cool, and I'm sure it's gonna get better over time, but just using these around the house, like when you're lying in bed, It's a game changer. For example, if you're using it in bed at night, you get that big screen without blasting light all over the room. So if you have a roommate or a partner, you can actually watch a movie without disturbing them while they're sleeping. And on a similar note, if you're using it in public spaces, like on an airplane for example, it comes with the added benefit of privacy, where nobody else can eavesdrop on what you're looking at on your screen. And then in those contexts where you would otherwise be using your phone for like a long period of time, this is a much more comfortable experience since it's hands-free. You don't have to bend your neck down to look at your screen, and you can truly just sit back and relax. Now, that's not to say that these are perfect. While you can use it as a second monitor for your computer or for browsing the web, because we're talking about 1080p on a 130-inch screen, there is some pixelation around text. So I personally prefer using it just for video, although using it with Samsung phones with DeX is pretty awesome. And then if you're moving around a lot, like when you're in a bumpy car, without the head tracking mode in the Nebula app, like it would be with the iPhone, it could be a bit too shaky. But if you're sitting relatively still and relaxed, like on an airplane, at the doctor's office, or just at home on the couch, it's pretty good. And it's easily the best viewing experience I've had compared to any other AR or VR headset I've tried. The Nreal Air comes in at just $379, which I don't think is too bad considering its cutting edge tech, although if you have an iPhone, the Nreal adapter and Apple's official AV adapter are sold separately. You can now buy it directly on Amazon, with the Nreal Air officially launching in the US. I'll be dropping all the links you need down below in the description, but that's pretty much it for me in this video. Big thanks to Nreal for sponsoring it, thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.